What you know, alibis? Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. Good to have you here. It's Thursday, October 30th. Man, almost November. Going to be Christmas before we know it, and that stresses me out. Today's episode is going to be super quick. We're just going to break down what the judge ruled regarding the Barry Morphew case and future hearings being streamed. Just to recap, Barry Morphew was arrested a second time in June of this year for the murder of his wife, Suzanne Morphew, and he was released on bond September 19th after friends and supporters raised enough money for him to post the amount. That bond was set at $3 million, but he only had to pony up $300,000 to get out. Earlier this week, Judge Amanda Hopkins ruled there will be no more public live streaming of Barry Morphew's hearings, saying that at least two YouTubers violated state law, which prohibits the recording and rebroadcasting of hearings. The judge said protecting Barry's rights amid an unbelievable amount of local, state, national, and international attention on the case. She also said the venomous commentary could affect either party's right to a fair trial by tainting the small jury pool through the prevalence of factual inaccuracies and the court of public opinion. While the impact of outside commentary is not an uncommon concern in a high-profile case, what is occurring because of the behavior of the YouTubers rises to a level of seriousness beyond that which something like a change of venue could resolve. She also says, at worst, the calls for and acts of violence against the parties and legal professionals will lead to somebody being physically hurt. Colorado has a law that allows the live streaming of hearings, but a judge can choose to turn off access if the live stream compromises the safety of anyone, Barry's right to a fair trial, or victims' rights. In choosing to deny public access to these hearings, the judge would need to find a less restrictive alternative to allow public viewing to watch remotely while still protecting those rights. She said any less restrictive remedies would prove fruitless. The Colorado Judicial Department has posted in several places admonitions against precisely the type of behavior which has occurred, which is recording live streaming. Those warnings were ignored and even included the unlawfully reproduced material. She also notes that contempt charges could be imposed since state law says that the hearings cannot be rebroadcast, but the judge also says it would be impractical to pursue those charges against all of the offending YouTube and true crime channels covering Barry's case. So the remedy is that credentialed members of the media will be allowed to watch virtually on an online platform set up by the court, and staff can control who is allowed to watch and who isn't allowed. So in other words, you're going to have credentials from pretty much a major news outlet to be able to watch these hearings. And even then, it sounds like it's not a guarantee. The judge did say she might restore the live stream in the future for certain hearings or proceedings as circumstances allow. So moving on, what are the conditions of his bond? He must wear a GPS monitor. He cannot own any weapons, and he cannot use any drugs or alcohol. He can only leave home to meet with doctors or attorneys or in the event of a medical emergency. In the judge's allowing bond, she cited his daughters being there and showing support for Barry as one of the reasons she did decide to modify that bond amount. Just throwing in here, both daughters have been listed as potential witnesses for the state. Barry's next court appearance is a pretrial hearing set for November 3rd, which obviously we will not be able to watch. At that hearing, they could set a date for his trial, and since Barry has not officially entered a plea, he also could do so at that hearing. So let me know in the comments what you think about this ruling. Do you think it's fair to preserve the integrity of the court proceedings, or do you think it's 2025 and we have the ability to stream public hearings, and we should? For those of you asking, Grammy is doing much better. She's at an inpatient rehab facility coming home Sunday, and I knew she was feeling better when she looked at me and said, "Girl, you need to get those roots touched up." So that's what I'm doing today. And tonight is my daughter's last game for football. She's a cheerleader, so I'll be out there freezing my tushy off for about 3 hours. I may go by REI and see if they have one of those heat vests or something I can throw on, because y'all, we are not built for cold in the South. The only time I like the cold is when I'm like mid hot flash. So that is it for today. I hope you guys have a good rest of your afternoon, and we will see you soon.